We're finally here on the second and final part of this two-part anatomy series. On this video, we're going to discuss on how to apply structure to your gesture drawing. So if you haven't seen part 1, which is I discussed how to learn gesture quickly, make sure to click at the top right corner of the screen or at the link at the description and come back here after you watched it. We'll wait for you.
1 million zillion jillion dillion cotillion times later.
Are you done? Have you watched it? Great. Now that you have enough knowledge on gesture, we can now proceed on to the next step, which is structure. Again, I separated this video in 3 separate levels for you to fully understand the structure of anatomy, starting from level 1, simple shapes. Anatomy is hard to learn because it's super complex. Learning every detail would be stressful, especially for us beginners. But in order to make it easier to understand, we have to learn it by simplifying every part into simple shapes. Yes, these shapes. You're probably thinking, here we go again with this shape thing. We're gonna turn boxes into perspective again. Well, yes and no. Let me explain. Well, yes. We have to discuss perspective in future videos. It's very important to learn perspective. It's a core fundamental we all have to master. But not right now. Well, I will share with you a secret method I usually do in order to practice anatomy into simple shapes without stressing over perspective, so you can try it too. And it's called graphing photo reference, then paste it on a canvas, lower the opacity, and identify the simple shapes. Damn, it took me so long to come up with that title. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. You just have to download an image from Pinterest, paste it to your canvas, then lower the opacity. But instead of just tracing the reference, for this, we only need to convert important parts of the body into simple shapes. The head, chest, and pelvis as a box, shoulder, knees, and elbow as circles, then arms, legs, and the neck as cylinders. For hands and feet, you can simply trace the form. Also, make sure to be aware of the overlapping shapes. First, try to figure out the angle of the chest using a box. Then this bendy cylinder for the spine, and another box for the pelvis. If you already established these two, you can now start with the arms and legs or the head. It's up to you where you want to start. The important thing is to establish the chest and pelvis first, so it would be easier for you to map out other parts. After that, you can try breaking the poses without drawing directly above the reference. Try doing this process a couple more times, and if you become even more comfortable with it, at this point, you can now do poses like this even without using a reference. Since you already have a clear understanding on how shape move and turn into space. Again, this is just an overview. You can always go back and learn in depth about perspective. I'm just sharing my very own method that works well for me to have a vague idea about perspective. I recommend to you to at least do this for a while before moving on to the next level. Just like gesture, you can do this every day. Sketch different simplified poses in different angles from time to time for you to actually master this. But if you think you're ready, and you already mastered the art of graphing photo reference, then paste it on a canvas, lower the opacity, and identify the simple shapes, the gates are now open for your next quest, which is Level 2, Muscle Group. Now that you have a good knowledge on how shape and form turn around the 3D space, these last 2 levels should be easy for you, since the goal of this whole series is to help you learn anatomy 2 times faster than other artists. We're going to skip all this for now. Instead, we're gonna learn the technique I call muscle grouping, wherein we would convert every single muscle of a certain part of the body into a big chunk of shape, just like this. The head. Instead of a box, we will turn it into something like this. The torso would be separated into 3 organic shapes. For rib cage, it's just like a breastplate. For abdominal muscle, it's just a cylinder that bends and twists. For pelvis, you can think of it just like an underwear. For shoulder, it would look like a shoulder plate. For upper arm, lower arm, and upper leg and lower leg, it's just cylinders with added bumps to it to represent the muscles around it. And lastly, for hands and feet, you can simplify them into these shapes. Now that you reduce every muscle into few organic forms, what you need to do now is to connect them as if you're playing a Lego. Remember, some parts would overlap each other, so make sure to be aware of it. And now for the last level for this tutorial. We can now combine everything that we've learned throughout the series. But before we go back to the final level of this tutorial, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. I spent days on making this video, and I absolutely love it. So by simply subscribing, it would motivate me to make more videos for you and also make me one step closer with my goal of reaching 10k subscriber by the end of the year. But if you already subscribed, I really appreciate your support. Now, let's get back to the video. Level 3. Figure Drawing. From part 1 until now, all we have done is to teach yourself to familiarize how body works and move or behave into 3D space. Now that you finally have a good knowledge in gesture and structure or form of the body, all you have to do is to apply everything that you've learned through figure drawing. Just like what we did on level 1, we're gonna use Pinterest to find some good reference that we can use for this final study. I recommend you to choose a reference that has good lighting and has a clear silhouette. Also, avoid references wearing too much clothes because you will find it hard to locate the body parts. Using gesture, your knowledge in turning shape in 3D space, and organic form of body shapes, you can start from drawing on top of a reference again for a couple times and transition on drawing beside the reference. This would be just an easy task for you since this is similar to what we did on level 1. The only difference is that you're now doing it using organic shapes rather than boxes and cylinders. Do this practice for a couple days, and when you're confident enough, you can now add detail and a little bit of shading for the muscles. And one last tip, don't stress about being perfect. It's totally fine if your studies doesn't turn out exactly how you imagine. It's more important that you keep going and learn from it rather than getting stuck trying to make it flawless. And yeah, that's it for this simple series about anatomy tutorial. You have successfully learned anatomy in simplified way. You're one step ahead among other artists that are still confused on how to apply this important concept with drawings. But again, this is just the first step. We will be discussing more in depth about anatomy later on this channel. So make sure to subscribe so you will be notified for my upcoming videos that I am working on. And if you learned something from this video, let me know in the comment section below. Please watch my other videos by clicking any of these. And see you on the next video.